6 ऑफेंसेस अगेंस्ट द ह्यूमन बॉडी। सेक्शन है 100 से 146, 100 से 146। मर्डर एंड कल्पेबल होमिसाइड। पहले में ऑफेंसेस अफेक्टिंग ह्यूमन बॉडी आर प्रोवाइडेड अंडर विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग चैप्टर्स ऑफ द बीएनएस, चैप्टर 6। 2 में है विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग प्रोविजन ऑफ बीएनएस डिफाइंस कल्पेबल होमिसाइड, 100। तीसरा में है विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग पेयर्स और सेक्शन ऑफ द बीएनएस पर्टेन्स टू कल्पेबल होमिसाइड एंड मर्डर, कल्पेबल होमिसाइड और मर्डर, 100 एंड 101। चौथा में किलिंग ऑफ ह्यूमन बीइंग बाय अनदर ह्यूमन बीइंग इज कॉल्ड homicide. Culpable homicide means causing death intentionally. Homicide is killing of human being by a human being. Homicide is always unlawful. ये गलत है. C. A is true but R is false. The mens rea required under section 100 of the BNS is intention or knowledge. आठवां में culpable homicide is causing death with intention, with knowledge or with the intention. नौवां में X knows Z to be behind a bush. Y does not know about it. X intending to cause or knowing it to be likely to cause Z's death induces Y to fire at the bush. Y fires and kills Z. What is the guilt of X and what is the guilt of the Y? See, X is guilty of having committing culpable homicide, but Y is not guilty of having committing any offense whatsoever, because Y को पता नहीं था कि बुश के पीछे कौन है, बट X को पता था कि बुश के नीचे जेड है और इसको फायर करने के लिए बोलता है और ये फायर करता है जिससे इसका ध्यान हो जाए। 10वां में है जेड इज ए प्रीस्ट बीट्स ए बॉय फॉर क्यूरिंग हिम फ्रॉम एविल स्पिरिट, द बॉय डाइज, जेड इज लायबल ऑफ कल्पेबल होमिसाइड। 11 में है ए जेलर हैज चार्ज of Z, a prisoner, intending to cause his death. A illegally omits to supply Z with food. This causes Z's strength to reduce and causes him weakness. Y, a prisoner who is unaware of his weakness, gets into a fight with Z, which results into death of Z, which may not have happened if Z was given adequate nutrition. Keeping section 37 and 300 of the code in mind, which of the following is true? A and Y both committed murder. Both murder नहीं होगा. A has committed attempt to murder and Y has committed culpable homicide not amounting to murder. ये हो सकता है। 12 में है under which one of the following provision of the BNS causing death of child in mother's womb is not homicide? C. Explanation 3 of section 100. 13 में है where death is caused by bodily injury, the person who causes such bodily injury shall be deemed to have caused the death, although by resorting to proper remedies and skillful treatment to the death might have been prevented. This provision is given under explanation 2 of section 100. Murder is defined in the following section of the BNS. 101. 15 में how many circumstances have been enumerated under section 101 of the BNS under which culpable homicide is murder? 4. 16 में when the injury is intentional and sufficient to cause death in the ordinary course of nature and death follow, the offense is murder. 17 में A has sufficient food but he does not have give some of it to another person who is hungry, and because of hunger that another person dies, A is guilty of no offense. 18 में intention to cause death is not essential under section 100. Fourthly, 100 का fourth. 19 के the plea of sudden and grave provocation under section 101 exception 1 of the BNS is a question of fact. 20 में the silent feature required to be considered to assess the defense of grave provocation within the meaning of BNS is whether a reasonable man belonging to same class of society as the accused placed in same situation would be so provoked to lose his self-control need to be considered. Z's action give a circumstances of grave and sudden provocation, and A starts attacking Z. B happens to chance upon the fight and decides to assist A in attacking Z. As a result, Z dies. Which of the following is true? A has committed culpable homicide not amounting to murder and B has committed murder. 22 में है द केस ऑफ के एम नानावती वर्सेस स्टेट ऑफ महाराष्ट्र इज रिलेटेड टू ग्रेव एंड सडन प्रोवोकेशन in the context of exception of grave and sudden provocation, which of the following is correct? All of the above is correct. Provocation should not be voluntarily provoked by the offender. Lawful exercise of the right of private defense does not give provocation. Lawful exercise of power by a public servant in obedience to the law does not amount to provocation. 24 में culpable homicide is not murder if done under sudden and grave provocation. Which one is incorrect? Culpable homicide does not amount to murder in certain cases of grave and sudden provocation, provided the question whether the provocation was grave and sudden is a pure question of law. Which provision of the BNS states that culpable homicide is not murder if the offender, in exercise of good faith of the right of the private defense of the person or property, exceeds the power given to him by law and causes the death of the person against whom he is exercising such right of defense without premeditation and without any intention of knowledge or doing more than harm than is necessary for the purpose of such defense. Exception 2 of 101. Which provision of the BNS states that culpable homicide is not murder if the offender, being a public servant or aiding a public servant acting for the advancement of the public justice, exceeds the power given to him by law and causes death by doing an act which he in good faith believes to be lawful and necessary for the due discharge of his duty as a such public servant and without ill will towards the person whose death is caused. Exception 3 of 101. 28 में which provision of the BNS states that culpable homicide is not murder if it is committed without premeditation in a sudden fight, in the heat of passion, upon a sudden quarrel, and without the offender having taken undue advantage or acted in a cruel or unusual manner. Exception 4 of 101. Culpable homicide is not murder when the person whose death is caused, being above the age of 18 years, suffers death or takes the risk of death with his own consent. This exception is given in which provision of the BNS? Section 5, Exception 5 of Section 101. इसमें a culpable homicide is not murder if it is committed with the consent of victim who has completed 18 years of age. 31 में है give correct response. Both and where intention to kill is not always necessary to make out a case of murder. We may acknowledge that the natural and probable consequence of an act would be death could make out a case of murder. 32 में A shoots Jed with intention of killing him. Jed dies in consequence. A is guilty of murder. 33 में है A appears as a witness before Jed. A magistrate Jed says that he does not believe a word of A's deposition and that A has perjured himself. A is moved to sudden passion by these words and kills Jed. This is a murder. 34 में A with intent to murder and administered a fatal dose of poison to Jed. And then, while Jed was still alive, a stranger B, without A's knowledge, attacked Jed and shot him dead. A would be guilty of attempt to murder and B would be guilty of the murder. 35 क्या है? A with intention of murdering Jed instigates B, a child below 7 years, at age to do an act which causes Jed's death. B, in consequence of instigation, did the act in absence of A, thereby causes Jed's death. What offense has been committed by the A? Committed murder. A snake charmer, while showing his play, claims to cure the snake bite. The deceased got himself a A snake bite, believing on assurance of the snake charmer could not cure the deceased. The snake charmer is liable for murder. 37 में X drives very fast through a crowded road to catch a flight, knowing that his act in all probability may cause death. Y is killed by his vehicle. X is guilty of murder. 38 में है X knows that Y is suffering from a disease in his head and also knows that if a blow is given to Y on his head, it is likely to cause his death. X gives a fist blow to Y on his head. Y dies and X is guilty of murder. 39 में X and Y go to murder Z. X stood on guard with a spear in hand but did not hit Z at all. Y killed Z. X and Y both are liable for murder of the Z. 40 में है Z strikes B. B is by this provocation is excited to violent rage. A bystander intending to take advantage of B's rage and to cause him to kill Z puts a knife into B's hand for the purpose. B kills Z with knife. What offense A is guilty of? Murder. A placed a bomb in a medical store and gave the people inside 3 minutes time to get out before the bomb exploded. B, an arthritic patient, failed to escape and was killed. A is liable for murder. 42. C, under the influence of passion, excited by a provocation given by A, intentionally kills A child named B. C has committed an offense of murder. 43. A, without any excuse, fires a loaded cannon into a crowd of persons and kills one of them. Although he may not have had a premeditated design to kill any particular individual, A committed offense under Section 101 of BNS. Give the correct response. 44. All murders are culpable homicide but not vice versa. All murders are culpable homicide but all culpable homicides are not murder. 45 में A give poisoned halwa, sweet dish, to B with intention to kill him. B ate one spoon and kept it on the side. C, who was sitting there, picked up and ate it. C dies. Here A is guilty of offense of murder of the C. Punishment for murder and culpable homicide not amounting to murder. Punishment for murder is given under section 103 of BNS. What punishment is provided for murder in BNSS? Death or life imprisonment. Imprisonment for life and fine. Which section of the BNS provides that when a group of 5 or more persons acting in concert commits murder on the ground of race, caste, or community, sex, place of birth, language, personal belief, or any other similar ground, each member of such group shall be punished with death or with imprisonment for life and shall also be liable to fine. Section 103 का 2. Punishment for culpable homicide not amounting to murder is given under Section 105 of the BNS. What punishment is provided for culpable homicide not amounting to murder in BNS? In case the act by which the death is caused is done with intention of causing death or causing such bodily injury as likely to cause death. Imprisonment for life or imprisonment which shall not be less than 5 years but which may extend to 10 years and fine. What punishment is provided for culpable homicide not amounting to murder in BNSS? In the case the act is done with knowledge that it is likely to cause death but without any intention to cause death or cause such bodily injury as is likely to cause death. Imprisonment which may extend to 10 years and fine. Which section of the BNSS provides for punishment of murder by life convict? Section 104. Whoever being under the sentence of imprisonment of for life commits murder shall be punished with Death, imprisonment for life, which shall mean the remainder of the person's natural life. Attempt to commit culpable homicide and murder. पहला में है attempt to commit culpable homicide is provided in BNS under section 110. Attempt to commit murder is provided in BNS under section 109. What punishment is provided for attempt to murder? Simpliciter. Imprisonment which may extend to 10 years and fine. What punishment is provided for attempt to murder where hurt is caused by such act? Imprisonment for life or imprisonment which may extend to 10 years and fine. Where a person commits the offense of attempt to murder and is already undergoing sentence of imprisonment for life and hurt is caused by such act, then the punishment will be death or imprisonment for life, which shall mean remainder of the person's natural life. What is the punishment? What punishment is provided for attempt to commit culpable homicide? Simpliciter. Imprisonment which may extend to 3 years or fine or both. What punishment? सातवां में what punishment is provided for attempt to commit culpable homicide where hurt is caused by such act? Imprisonment which may extend to 7 years or fine or both. Transfer of malice. पहला में है which section of BNSS embodies the doctrine of transferred malice? Section 102. BNS होना चाहिए. X intended to kill A but instead killed B, whom he had no intention to kill. Under which doctrine is X liable for the murder of the B? Doctrine of transfer of malice. A had a stepchild whom he wanted to kill. For this purpose, he gave B, who was taking care of the child, a piece of cake which had poison in it and asked B to feed the child the cake. B, however, ate the cake himself and died as a result. Which of the following statement is accurate? A will be liable for the offense of murder. A intentionally fired a shot from his pistol at B, but it hit C and C died. The offense committed by A is murder under section 102. पांचवा में है X intended to kill A but instead killed B, whom he had no intention to kill. Under which doctrine X is liable for the murder of the B? Doctrine of transfer of malice. Death by negligence. पहला में है which section of the BNS provide for the offense of causing death by negligence? Section 106. The maximum term of imprisonment which can be imposed by the court for the offense under section 106(1) of the BNS is 5 years. Death by negligence. If death by negligence is caused by medical practitioner while performing medical procedure, what punishment is prescribed under BNS? Imprisonment which may extend to 2 years and fines. चौथा में है which section of BNS provides for the punishment is in case where person causing death by rash and negligent act escapes? 106 का दो. पांचवा में whoever causes death of any person by rash and negligent driving of vehicle not amounting to culpable homicide and escapes without reporting it to a police officer or a magistrate soon after the incident shall be punished with imprisonment which may extend to 10 years and fine. छठा में है which section of the BNS provides for the offense of hit and run cases? 106 का दो. Abatement of suicide and abatement of suicide of child or on person of unsound mind. पहला में है abatement of suicide of child or person of unsound mind is punishable under section 107 of the BNS. Offense of abatement of suicide has been provided in which section of the BNS? Section 108. What punishment has been given for abatement of suicide of child or person of unsound mind under BNS? Death, imprisonment for life, or imprisonment not exceeding 10 years and fine. What punishment has been given for abatement of suicide under BNS? Imprisonment not exceeding 10 years and fine. Organized crime and petty organized crimes. Offense of organized crime has been provided in which section of the BNS? Section 111. Which provision of the BNS defines organized crime syndicate? Explanation 1 of 111. Which provision of the BNS defines continuing unlawful activity? Explanation 2 of 111. चौथा में है which section of the BNS defines economic offense? Explanation 3rd of 111. According to BNS, continuing unlawful activity means any activity prohibited by law, which is a continuing offense. According to BNS, continuing unlawful activity means any activity prohibited by law, which is a cognizable offense punishable with imprisonment of 3 years or more. Continuing unlawful activity means an activity. छठा में है prohibited by law, which is cognizable offense punishable with imprisonment for 3 years or more, undertaken by any person either singly or jointly as a member of an organized crime syndicate or on behalf of such syndicate in respect of which more than dash charge sheet have been filed before a competent court within the preceding period of dash years, and that court has taken cognizance of such offense and including economic offense 1 and 10, 1 charge sheet or 10 years. सातवां में है organized crime syndicate mean a group of how many person acting either singly or jointly as a syndicate or gang indulge in any continuing unlawful activity. 2 or more. According to BNS, the definition of economic offense includes offenses of criminal breach of trust, forgery, counterfeiting of currency notes, banking notes and government stamps, hawala transaction, mass marketing fraud, running away scheme to defraud several persons, or doing any in any manner with a view to defraud any bank or financial institution or any other institution or organization for obtaining monetary benefits in the any form. किसी भी प्रकार का मॉनेटरी बेनिफिट लेने के लिए जो काम किया जाएगा, इंस्टीट्यूशन बनाया जाएगा, उसको इकोनॉमिक ऑफेंस में डाला जाएगा. According to section 111 of the BNS, organized crime means any continuing unlawful activity which include kidnapping, robbery, vehicle theft, extortion, land grabbing, contract killing, economic offense, cyber crime, trafficking of person, drugs, weapons, or illicit goods or services, human trafficking for prostitution or ransom. According to BNS, whoever commits organized crime, if such offense has resulted in death, shall be punished with death or imprisonment for life and fine which shall not be less than 10 lakh rupees. According to BNS, whoever commits organized crime, if such offense does not result in death, shall be punished with imprisonment which shall not be less than 5 years but which may extend to life, and fine and not less than 5 lakh rupees. Which section of the BNS provides punishment for abatement, attempt, conspiracy or facilitation for commission of an organized crime? 111 का 3. What punishment is given for abatement, attempt, conspiracy or facilitation for the commission of the organized crime? Imprisonment which shall not be less than 5 years but which may extend to life, and fine not less than 5 lakh rupees. 14 में है which section of the BNS provides punishment for being a member of organized crime syndicate? Section 111 का 4. What punishment is given for being member of organized crime syndicate? Imprisonment which shall not be less than 5 years but which may extend to life, and fine not less than 5 lakh rupees. 16 में which section of the BNS provides punishment for intentionally harboring or concealing any person who has committed offense of organized crime, सेक्शन 111 का 5. What punishment is given for intentionally harboring or concealing any person who has committed organized crime? Imprisonment which shall not be less than 3 years, but which may extend to life, and fine not less than 5 lakh rupees. Which section of the BNS provides punishment for possessing any property derived from or obtained from commission of organized crime? सेक्शन 111 का 106. What punishment is given for possessing any property derived from or obtained from commission of organized crime? Imprisonment which shall not be less than 3 years, but which may extend to life, and fine not less than 2 lakh rupees. 20 में है which section of the BNS provides punishment for possessing any movable or immovable property by member of organized crime which he cannot satisfactorily account for? 111 का 7. 21 में what punishment is given for possessing any property, any movable or immovable property by member of organized crime which he cannot satisfactorily account for? Imprisonment which shall not be less than 3 years, but which may extend to 10 years, and fine not less than 1 lakh rupees. 22 का which section of the BNS defines petty organized crimes? 112. What punishment is given for petty organized crimes? Imprisonment which shall not be less than 1 year, but which may extend to 7 years, and fine 1 to 7 years plus fine. According to section 112 of the BNS, petty organized crime include offences of theft, snatching, cheating, unauthorized selling of tickets, unauthorized betting or gambling, selling of public examination question papers, or other similar criminal act committed either singly or jointly while being member of the group or gang. Terrorist Act. Which section of the BNS defines terrorist act? 113. What punishment is given for commission of terrorist act if such offense result in death of any person? Death, imprisonment for life, and fine. Hurt. Which section of the BNS defines hurt? Section 114. Hurt as defined in section 114 of the BNS is causing of following to any person. All of these: bodily pain, disease, or infirmity. तीसरा में which section of the BNS defines voluntarily causing hurt? 115 section 115 voluntarily causing hurt. What punishment is given for voluntarily causing hurt in BNS? Imprisonment which may extend to 1 year, or fine which extend to 10,000 or both. A prostitute suffering from communicable disease had sexual intercourse with a man, representing that she was free from any disease, commits hurt. A attacks B to disfigure his face permanently. A could not do so, but causes B severe bodily pain for 10 days. A commits the offense of voluntarily causing hurt. The offense of grievous hurt has been defined in section 116 of the BNS. How many kinds of hurts are included under grievous hurt? How many kinds of hurts are included under grievous hurt under section 116 of the BNS? 8 प्रकार के ग्रीवियस हर्ट होते। थैंक यू। नेक्स्ट पार्ट 2 में करेंगे।